Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is our history segment. Which U.S. administration was behind what many believe, as do I, to be the most disastrous foreign policy decision in American history, and why? Maury?
Jimmy Carter, who we all despise for many reasons, but we don't even know the full story of his treachery.
Is that your Southern bigotry coming out?
I guess.
I can't call you a racist or a sexist, so it's got to be Southern bigotry.
No, it's my anger at what was allowed to happen by having Jimmy Carter, who I won't even go, we don't have the time. But the point is, he was the guest of the Shah at the 2500th anniversary of the Great Persian Empire. Fine. Then Andrew Young, who was his United Nations delegate, said, the great man who should be leading Iran is the Ayatollah Khomeini. The French have him on a house arrest indefinitely because he's a terrorist and he's done a lot of bad things and they don't want to let him loose. And then Andrew Young gets the go-ahead from Carter to put pressure on the French in the name of Carter to get him out and get him back into Iran. Once he gets back to Iran, it would have been like an Adolf Hitler. And this one is a perfect analogy, bringing him back to run Iran. The Shah was weak. He actually had run away once before, and the CIA brought him back in. But the point is,
he was the devil we knew.
And he was very friendly with Israel. It was Turkey, Israel, and Iran kept the Middle East in balance at that particular time. And consequently, what happened is that Carter was there. And do you know who also was in part of that cabal that got
Brzezinski.
You got it. Very good. You're a mind reader. Brzezinski was there. And Scowcroft was a Republican. He was a hater of Israel and the idea of working together with the Arabs to take over the whole Middle East, including Israel. And consequently, Carter is the guy that pushed it. And then when they took over our embassy, this is what lost him the re-election, because the American people woke up and saw this guy can't even, 300 people in our embassy, he couldn't even bring them back. Then they had some half-baked attempt with helicopters. That didn't work. So he was out. But the point is,
that may have been the turning point of the election right there.
Yes, it was.
When the choppers went down.
Yes, it was. But I'm thinking that Carter was the guy who really opened up the bad guys in the Middle East. Today you would have...
He ushered in the Islamic Revolution, Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter was the godfather of the Islamic Revolution. There's no question about it. And then after he was removed from power, he worked for a lobbying organization whose job was to back up Saudi Arabia and other powerful Arab countries. And he's still, to this day, he's still out there shooting his mouth up, but he's getting old and he's getting feeble, so he isn't as verbal as he has been.
Called the Palestinian situation an apartheid state, and on and on. The guy doesn't stop. I wish we had more time. Again, the clock dictates we have to come to a halt. That wraps up another edition of the World Report. If you want to see the show again, if you'd like to catch a segment that you missed, if you want to curse out Maury and me, the simplest way is just go to our website, theworldreport.org. For Maury Beschloss and all those exceptional folks in the United States Armed Forces who volunteer to keep us safe, God willing, we'll see you again. I'm Scott Crowfoot. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.